Good morning, everyone. Here we have this old SG back again. It's 67, 68. I can't remember exactly what it is, but what's going on here is this mess. So, in the previous video, I talked about how this got knocked over a couple of times in its life, and headstock broken. It had a really bad repair. Look at that. And it had a bunch of wood filler in it that didn't hold. And so what I've done is I routed out all the bad parts, glued epoxy the headstock back on, and we had this set up over the weekend. More epoxy, and basically there was a giant, as you see in the old video, like a section cut right into the neck. So we glued this chunk in there, and now we're going to do some reshaping of this chunk. Okay. Let's see. I'm not sure if I want to go with the chisel first or the Dremel tool, make a big mess. Maybe I'll chisel out some big parts first, see how close we can get with that. What do you guys think? Or we'll just say, screw it and go with the Dremel. You know what? Let's do the Dremel. Ready? All right, I have to get this set up though. So, pause. All right, so this is the Dremel tool I'm going to be using. I'm going to time lapse. The other one's just going to be a bunch of loud noises with the shop vac going and the Dremel going. So this thing is really cool tool. You can cut in like a saw blade, and if you're careful, you can cut side to side. So we're going to go in here and we're going to do a little side to side action. Get this roughed out, and hopefully everything goes as planned. It's really easy to overcut with this thing, so hopefully that doesn't happen. Anyway, we'll see you in the next part. All right, we're back now that I've had my sneezing fit and got some coffee, and you can check that out, see where we're at from the Dremel work. Don't want to go too far because it's a lot harder. It's a lot easier to take away wood than to put wood back. So here's this thing again, and this is one of those quick change ones also. I think I got this particular one at Home Depot, but now you can take this thing off, use different attachments, but it's a fairly expensive little bit, but if you're careful with it, these things will last for years. So it's a great, I think it was like 20 bucks or something altogether with the arbor and the blade itself. But anyway, highly recommended. Cuts wood like butter. And now we're gonna put that back so we don't lose the tools. And I usually store my Dremel with the Stumac base, some cork added to it. Let's put this away. Probably should have done that when I was cleaning up. Sorry about being sniffly. I tried to blow my nose and clean up during the break, but sawdust is sawdust. No, I don't wear a mask or respirator or whatever. You guys are better, if you do, better at it than me. So, all right, so that's what we got left, and I may take a couple of passes with the chisel just to see if that works very well. Probably just gonna end up sanding it all, but let's just see. When's the last? I don't even know when the last time I sharpened this chisel is. It's not too awful. It's not the greatest. I can get to a like a medium level of sharpness on my chisels. Some people are like, put razor's edge on them. I never have enough patience to do that. I have the machine for it somewhere that gets it to the basic angle, and it works pretty okay. I had the roller thing that you put on the whetstone, but I seem to have misplaced it. So I just basically do it by eyeball now, and it comes out okay. I know I'm probably not doing it right, but that's okay. out as much as I dare with this. Ooh, a little bit of epoxy there. That's what we're definitely going to have to come in with the sandpaper. I'm already committed to probably having to respray at least here, because this will be really ugly. So we're going to take it back. Wow, that dust really got to me. To go blow my nose again. It's looking okay. You guys want a different angle. Here, hold on, pause. All right, went and blew my nose again. Not like you guys need to know that, but it was pretty nasty. All that sawdust went directly up my nose. Okay, you guys get a better look this way. You want to be careful not to dig in too deep, because you can, instead of cutting the wood, pull out strips and fingers, and that's not good, because they always run in. They always go straight in, and they make a pocket, and you got to fill it in and do it all over again, and nobody likes that. It's cutting pretty okay. Mahogany cuts pretty nice anyway. Hey, look, I got the grain kind of the right way. This grain looks a little longer than the original, but hey, you know, I didn't have any 100-year-old mahogany to work with. Well, this could be, I guess. I don't know. Just a chunk of mahogany we had in the shop. It's getting closer. How would you guys do this? Any other suggestions? Now it's almost, you know, carved in there. As we said before, there was a chunk that went under the fingerboard in between the wood that was like a long wedge of nothing. Just crappy wood filler. I unfortunately wasn't taking videos when this thing came in, but I think I have some pictures somewhere, and I'll attach them if I can find them, of the original horribleness that happened to this guitar. Had an unfortunate accident and then a very unfortunate repair. Wood filler is not structural. This kind wasn't anyway. You could carve it with your finger. You could do what I'm doing with the chisel with your fingernail. It was just a whole lot of nothing. Okay, now we gotta be careful, don't want to dig in. I dinged it a little bit there, but we're gonna sand that out anyway. It's all getting sanded. Let's see if we go around this side, maybe now. It's more difficult to do this direction because the headstock's right in the way to keep the chisel flat. So I gotta kind of cut sideways or across the grain. And that, it's a little more difficult and you get more tearing, especially with a not super sharp chisel like mine. I love one of those really, really nice Japanese chisels, but they're very expensive. This here, for those that care, I think it's a Marples, I think. The sticker's long gone, but I think it's just a basic wood-handled Marples. What's the case say? Oh no, these are Freud's, or Freud. I thought I had some Marples ones. Anyway, yeah, these are Freud's. And these were given to me by a guy who was basically the first one to start showing me this kind of work. His name was Wally. He has since died, but he was a good dude, had a lot of knowledge. He was very generous with that knowledge. Before he died, he gave me a bunch of his old tools. These were some of them, so I use this chisel almost every day. All right, that's getting closer. Let's see down to at least, I want to try to match the profile if I can with the chisel. Just get there, and then I'll refine it with a sanding block. This is where it would have been great if I could have used fish glue. Then I could have just, wiped this crap off with water. But I needed something that was going to fill any gaps that were in there, and epoxy would do that and be strong. That's coming along nicely. Let's see if we can get in from here. Ooh, don't go too deep. That's never been a problem yet for me. Oh, you guys are here. Move you guys out a little bit. Maybe let's see if there we go. Move you out, so I'm not gonna bonk you with a chisel. That works. And you can see this part. I should probably just time-lapse this, but some of you crazy people like to listen to my blabbering. Okay, let's see. That's not so bad. What do you think? Oh, come on. Always resist that temptation to go that one extra. When you think it's good, it's good. Go on to the next step. You can always go back, but you can't. Again, if you cut too deep or gouge it, it just makes so much more work for you later on. It's getting there, huh? Trying to just get the edges right down as close as I dare. Because I can see where the edges are. I can see how close they need to be, but the center parts, you can easily carve in too much if you're not careful. Okay, look at that. That looks pretty good. I think we're gonna stop with a chisel there and go on with the sanding block for now. At least knock all this down. Get rid of this epoxy leftovers here. Maybe let's turn it up like this. Yeah, hey, not bad, huh? Not bad for a giant ugly block being stuck in there not so long ago. Oh, we get a little runoff there. Ooh, I almost knocked over my coffee. That would have been bad. D'Addario cup. Oh, that French roast is good. Green Mountain French roast. All right, let's see if we can just pop that off. A lot of times it doesn't. Yeah, see, epoxy, it's odd. If it can be very structural, but then sometimes like it didn't stick at all to that. Well, a little bit, but it's gonna pop off. See that? Probably from all the old finger oils and stuff. Let's pop that on. Oh, there we go. Oh, are you seeing that? Yeah, you're seeing that. Good. Okay. And again, try to keep your chisel flat. Pop that off like that. I wonder if I can pop off some of this on the back. That would be handy if I could do that. I don't care if it dings the finish a little bit, because we're going to sand it, and then you can see there's a dent there anyway that we're going to try to sand out. So if it gets a little messy, we don't exactly care too much. I just don't want to. Oh, there we go. Yes, sir. See that? That's what I want to happen. I'll just pop off that epoxy. Come on. There we go. See, I intentionally didn't clean up too much around this because I didn't want the epoxy to stick as hard there. I was hoping it would do something like this, chip off. There we go. I know this is probably not, doesn't look good, right? You're gonna ruin it. Don't ever chip it and pull. It's fine. Oh yeah, all right. That's better. Now that that's out of my way, I can get the chisel in there a little easier. I find cutting diagonal like that a little more controllable. So I'm kind of just like pressing down with my thumb. It's kind of sideways action. It's funny, this guitar has been sold a couple of times, I think. And now the guy that bought it somewhere else, I think is a story, bought it somewhere else, traded it here. He might have bought it back once before, and then he had us put has changed out the pickups, put pickups in it, and he traded it back in. He's one of these guys that just every week is trading something back in, taking something else, which is fine. That's a lot of people's entertainment. But now he wants it back again once it's fixed. So we'll see. There's already a bunch of other people who have seen this in the shop and all have expressed interest, because it's a 60s Gibson, but it's pretty much player grade, so I think it can be had at a decent price. I don't know that price. I'm not going to quote prices because I don't price them, I fix them. But I want to think it's much less than if one of these things were in mint shape, obviously. I saw some of these things going for ridiculous money down at the Texas show. A friend of mine and myself, for a couple of years, would transport guitars to the Arlington and Dallas guitar show. Very cool if you guys have never been. So many guitars in that building. Millions of dollars in guitars. Just crazy. And some guys, you can get deals. That's where I got my broken SG project. But some of these things in good condition were $8,000-9,000. It's insane. More for ones that were really cool or had some sort of unique story. For the student model. Anyway, again, I just fix them. Look at that, that's coming out nice. We're getting there, guys. It's good to keep your chisel skills, wait for it, sharp. Not that I'm any great chiseler. What's a term for somebody who primarily chisels? Chiseler? Chiselery? I don't know. That's silly. But it's a good skill to have when doing this. A lot of times when very delicate areas, a chisel can be very useful. There we go. That's coming. All right. Let's see, we're still pretty up right there. Let's carve that in just a little bit. I'll be real careful here now because we're getting close. I do like how that grain matches. That's nice. And I think when I'm ready to spray this one, I'm going to also spray that other SG, my Project SG, because that needs primer. It's been, it's had some grain filler done. Now it's time for primer. And once this is smooth, I'm going to do grain filler on this, which dries very quickly, and then we'll do primer. Maybe not on this one. I don't think I need primer on this one, do I? I'm not going to do a solid color on this, so we're just going to do some grain filler, and then I'll probably just use some cherry Stumac dye and some lacquer as a first coat, and then we'll clear it. I might go dark, just darken it up. I'm not going to use black. Sorry, that dust is still getting to me. You don't have to use black. I thought about doing a stinger, but I don't know. I think I'll do that on mine, not on this one. Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. I think stingers look cool. So I'll probably just some cherry and then clear coat, and we should be good. Okay. What do you guys think? Coming along? Come along nicely? Not bad, huh? Not bad for by hand. little bit of a lump there, as you can see, but that's okay. I'm deliberately not digging in here because this is where you make your mistakes. It's easy to line it up on the edges. Right there is where you, and that wouldn't be good. But it actually feels kind of like a neck again. Let's set it up like this, and we'll dial in that edge a little bit. All right, here we go. That's pretty good. All right, we're going to sanding blocks now. I know when to stop. And it's now. Cool. Let's see. Do I have a sanding block ready? Or I can go dig for one. I thought I had one right here. Could have sworn I did. Thought I did. Hold on. Pause you guys again. Yep. Hold on. Pause. All right. Found it. And one of my homemade ones, piece of ebony. I think it was an old bridge blank or something that I sliced in half and then chopped up the blocks. Ebony works great for sanding blocks, and this is just a chunk of sanding belt from a belt sander. Get it? And super glue that to a piece of wood, and you'll have a really nice sanding block that lasts a lot longer than your regular sanding blocks. I'm just trying to smooth everything out here. And I really don't care if I hit the other finish, but I want to keep everything kind of centered over this. Get this down as close as possible first. So I'm using a pretty heavy grit here, and I'd rather not have to sand that out of everything. I think this is 80 grit maybe, which cuts pretty fast. I don't want to, if I can avoid it, have to sand. I want to cut my sanding down as much as possible. It's the boring part of the work. I think I'll make a time lapse of just this process without my yapping, as well as this. What do you guys think? Okay, we're getting closer. Got a couple other interesting projects in the queue. I have a, oopsie, I hit a little bit there. Let's be careful. Let's turn it this way. I have a really cool 70, I think it's a 1970 Les Paul. And a friend of mine / customer gave me over the weekend to give it a, sprucing up, set up, clean up, make it right type of thing. Nice. Getting down there.